Welcome to the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube. This is our Awakening Together weekly gathering. Each and every week we have a different minister who speaks. If you'd like to attend our services live, please visit our website awakening-together.org. Click on Online Sanctuary on the main menu. Then, How to Enter the Sanctuary. Our services are held Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary.
Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all you lovely moms out there. And let's see. This is the time that we normally greet everybody on the board. And I am not sure. Kate, do you have the Awakening Together song to cue up and play? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So everybody can say hi and greet each other, and we will come back and get started. Nice to see everybody here. And again, welcome. And we're going to start with going over our purpose and values at Awakening Together. Just trying to, I have found I can get centered if I just look at all you people. And that's helpful to me. I would rather look at you than my mug. So we're trying to get our view set so I can do that. All right. Now we will do a little prayer. And settle in. Dear Father, we thank you for this day that is sufficient for everything, for all we need right here and right now. We thank you for this time together as we come to lay aside all of our ideas of who we are and who the other is. May our ears be open to hear what you would have us hear, to see what you would have us see, that we may return to you. Amen. Okay. And today, our reading is going to be from Way of Mastery book, and it is lesson 3. And the title of the lesson is The Power of Forgiveness. And Steph is going to read for us. Thank you so much, Steph. And she's going to read a couple different sections. And in Way of Mastery, that within the chapter there are different sections. So if anyone is following along, we are going to read Awakening Requires Vigilance and Discipline. We're going to read that section, and then we're going to hop over to the section Reactivity Indicates the Need for Self-Forgiveness. So that's going to be our reading. And Steph, again, thank you. And the mic is all yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. All right, I'm going to start out reading from Lesson 3, Awakening Requires Vigilance and Discipline. Can you hear me okay? Yes. I have said to you many times that the world you see is nothing more than the effect of the thoughts you have held within the mind. Therefore, awakening requires the act of vigilance and discipline. The discipline to cultivate a way of living in which you observe your own thoughts, in which you listen to the words that are coming out of your mouth, in which you observe the feelings that are evoked within your body, the reactivity that seems to own you, and to these things as innocent, and to see these things as innocent and simply self-caused. When next something is reflected to you by the world that causes you to become angry or causes you to be in judgment, and stop Stop right where you are and look, not with judgment of your judgment, but with innocence and honesty. Oh, I see that I am judging someone. That is an interesting cloud passing through the sky of my awareness. I wonder if I might be able to make another choice. Now the mind will tell you, but this person just broke into my house and stole my stereo. Of course, I have the right to be in judgment. I have a right to feel angry. But I say unto you, anger is never justified. It does not mean you will not experience it, but stop fooling yourself into believing that there is some validity to it. When someone has just broken into your home and taken your stereo equipment or some other idol that you love, what if you understood that you had the power in that moment to remember that all events are neutral? They merely provide you with a chance to choose love. What if you literally chose that insane way, according to the world, of looking upon that one who has just done that act as a brother or sister who is crying out for help and healing? What if you chose to look upon them as one who does not know how to live in this world without being of the world, who does not know that the way to self-forgiveness, who does not know the truth of the light that lives within them, and who does not recognize their great power to create whatever they want in a way that is not hurtful to anyone? What if you chose to look upon them with compassion rather than reactivity? It begins in simple ways. To set the stage, I want you to remember that time has been given to you that you might use it constructively. That means when you awaken in the morning, realize that you are in school. You do not have to drive anywhere. You are already there. The universe is literally helping you to assist you into having experiences that will bring things up for you so that you can choose to look at them differently, thereby discovering the great power within you. The freedom within you to choose what you have want to perceive and to elicit only what you want to feel. So that even if nails are being driven through the hands, you finally are liberated in the power to choose love and therefore to overcome the world. Having said this, understand that each of your days is a blessing and a gift if you use it from a full commitment to awakening. Your day is chock full of a million opportunities to discover a deeper truth. Therefore, never feel that the purpose of your life must be something other than what you are involved in. For remember what we spoke of earlier. You are literally creating everything you choose, and nothing is forced upon you. Now, if we're going to take that thought just a little deeper for a moment, it literally means that if you have decided you want to awaken, you have already called to yourself every experience that you can truly best serve your awakening. The friends, family, and people you have relationships with are those who likewise can best gain from the experiences elicited through relationship with you. It means that right here and right now, you are already demonstrating the power that you're seeking, the power to truly awaken, to truly choose to awaken, and to command the whole of creation to serve you in that awakening. Therefore, when you awaken in your mornings, look around. Who is that person sleeping next to you? They are your perfect companion. They are a messenger of God. For just behind your experiences, there is something deeper taking place, because your mind is resting right next to the mind of God. When you first said as a soul, I want to awaken, I want to go home, the Father answered your prayer and began to send the thought through your spirit and through your soul to your conscious mind. I know how to direct you home. Give up this career and start that one. Move from this location to that location. You began to feel all manners of impulses. You began to read different books. You began to do different things. You met someone and fell in love, all by accident? Hardly. The very thought that you would claim as your own, from which you have created the world of your own personal experiences, is also literally the result of your prayer to awaken. And the Father is creating, assisting you to create just those experiences as stepping stones that carry you from where you are to where God is. The result is that your ordinary daily life is the most perfect ashram you could ever be within. It is the holy city to which it is wise to make pilgrimage every day, which means to bring awareness and commitment to exactly what you're experiencing, to be thankful for it, to bless it, to embrace it, to be vigilant, and to be mindful. What is this moment teaching me? Having given that as a background and foundation, remember that you do not experience anything that is called ordinary moment. In each and every moment, extraordinary things are occurring. Extraordinary things are occurring in which the whole of the universe is conspiring, which means to breathe together. The universe is conspiring with you to awaken you and to heal you. Trust it, love it. That these things are true, I assure you that they are, means that your life, the very life you're living, is equal in power and majesty to the effectiveness to any life that has ever been lived. It means that your very life is equal to the one that I lived, for it is bringing you home as my life was my pathway to home to God. To build on what I shared earlier, the third axiom or principle could be encapsulated in this way. I do not live any ordinary moments. With each breath, my experiences are the stepping stones laid before me of God to guide me home. I will bring awareness to each moment and allow it to teach me how to forgive, how to embrace, how to love, and therefore how to live fully. In your ordinary moments, a thousand times each day, you will be confronted by the opportunities to be disturbed. And in that very same moment, you are being given the blessing of the opportunity to choose peace, to remember to cultivate a perception of your brother or sister that is a perception birthed out of the Christ mind, not the egoic mind. Forgiveness then can be practiced diligently, and you will not need to look too far. You will not need to make a pilgrimage to some far city. You do not need to go sit in a cave in the mountains somewhere to discover the way to God. It is all around you because you can only be where you have decreed to be. You have decreed it to be there because you, as a soul, truly want nothing more than to awaken. Your life, just as it is unfolding moment to moment, is meant for you. If this is true, and I assure you that it is, the way to God can only be found in your willingness to embrace and to live fully the very life that is within you and that unfolds through you with each moment. To live without fear, to go forward, to indeed trust and embrace the very power and the majesty that is the seed, the soil, and the ground from which your life's experience is unfolding. It is precious, it is extraordinary, it is blessed, and it is given you of God. Would you not embrace the blessing of your life and sanctify it to keep it holy and recognize that your life is worthy of your respect? It does not matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think. Beloved friend, your life is your way home. If you do not live it fully, how can you ever arrive home? Therefore, fear not your greatness. Fear not the power that comes from embracing your life and claiming its value. Live it fully out with every bit of your passion you can muster. Embrace every second of it. Every time you wash your dish and cup after breakfast, look upon these things and say, my God, this is my life. This is my pathway home, and I am going to live it. Precious friends, in this way you will come to forgive yourself of the judgments you have made. For those among you has not known the feeling of saying, God, my life is just not worth very much. I will never be like so-and-so down the street. I will never have enough money. Not enough people are going to know me. When will my work ever get out as big as that person's work? And on and on. But I say unto you, every time you have judged yourself, you have weakened yourself. Every time you have judged yourself or another, you have slipped down the mountain another notch. When your desire is to be at the summit. And the next section is reactivity indicates the need for self-forgiveness. Rest assured, you will continue to project upon others what remains unhealed and unforgiven within yourself. Each time you react to another, you are being given a sign that there's some kind of energy that has been presented to your awareness that you have not forgiven within yourself. If someone is critical and you react every time they are critical, rest assured you have not healed that part of your own mind, that part of your own experience of being critical of others. Whether it is occurring now or whether it seems to be a pattern that you have interrupted and no longer do, you still have not forgiven yourself for not having identified with that energy. Use your ordinary experience in each day to observe what pushes your buttons. We will give you a very simple technique for doing so. If you will stay with it, it will reveal to you the energies that are in need of your forgiveness. The technique is very simple. As you go through your day, observe when you feel as though you are in contraction. Are the muscles of the body tight? Is the breath very shallow? Does your voice become faster or louder when you speak about some energy in someone else? That is a sign that you need to do healing within yourself. When you recognize that these kinds of signs are going on, in other words, life has been presented to you with an opportunity to be disturbed, that is a sign that there is something that requires healing. Therefore, count it as a blessing if you feel disturbed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steph. I know that was a long reading. There was a lot of good stuff, and oftentimes when I'm in Way of Mastery, I can't chunk it down. I can't remove any parts of it because it all seems to be so important to me. So I appreciate you reading that very much. And there is plenty in there to look at, and I think the essence of it is there is no need to look out at other people's lives and what's going on in their world, whether that be on Facebook or Instagram or just your neighbors or what have you. Looking outside and saying, life would be easier, I could awaken quicker if I had some of these different circumstances, right? If I had that life that appears to be so put together. And the reminder that once we have made that decision at some level, and I know for me, my decision appears even to myself to wax and wane. Some days my motivation is great. Other days my motivation is a little softer. But once we have made that decision, that I call it kind of the silent scream that says, I want to go home. I want to remember who I am. I want to stop playing this game. Once we make that quiet decision, then as this reading says, everything has come together in order for us to be given chances to review the things that are blocking that from us, that are blocking that awareness and that memory of who we truly are. So we need not go anywhere. I mean, there is nowhere to go. It's all planted in our own day. And I love the reminder that we are in school. That is kind of a metaphor that Course in Miracles uses too. It's just curriculum, right? And we just wake up, and we wake up into a day that's designed for us, by us, and with our creative power. And we can choose to use everything that comes down the pike in that manner. And I was reminded as I was, coming up with the topic and the homily is, I'm from recovery circles, right? And we use the one day at a time concept all the time. And it has a tendency, I think, to become, sound extremely cliche, right? This idea of one day at a time. But it's one of those things that I have known in my own experience that when things are really coming up hot and there's a powerful experience for me to learn from, whether that be grief, loss, an incredible amount of anger or fear that is paralyzing me. There is nothing purer that comes to mind for me than the idea of one day at a time. And the truth found in that can open up some space for me and allow me to quiet down enough to receive some guidance that will allow me to move through whatever it seems to be that is facing me at that time. Because when I try and take it, when I try and take even the idea of awakening as a whole enchilada, I can get discouraged fairly easily. That seems like a very big task. But when I break even that down into little components, the many times that I am disturbed during the course of a day and the many opportunities I have to practice anything during the course of a day and recognize, as is shared here in the reading for me, that this is my path home and I can practice all the things that I've learned and use on any of these disturbances, and that will serve my awakening one day at a time. I don't have to bite off the whole thing today. And I love the idea that the reminder to use time constructively, and that once again, I think that is really guided. It's guided by what we desire, and the reminder at the beginning of a day of what we want is probably pretty important for that, to start our day with the reminder that awakening is our goal in some fashion, and to set the stage that the things that show up for us during that course of the day are designed to help us with that. And if we can set that early on in the day, then we can be kind of alert as things show up. I have noticed that one of the funny things about awakening as a goal, because it is in a way of saying it is a goal, like any other goal, there are things that help us meet that goal. With awakening, though, the goal is, it's a goal of undoing, right? It's not a goal of adding to our life or adding to our experience or adding to our personality. It's a goal of undoing and allowing things to be released. And I've had an opportunity recently. I think one of the things that brought all this together for me was work has become a hotspot for disturbances lately. And that has been challenging to the point of where I've, considered looking elsewhere and wondering if I need to relocate and all that kind of stuff. And it dawned on me, I think, the first part of last week was that is probably not necessarily what I am called to do right now. I have been given tools that I can look at these disturbances. And I kind of saw this coming, kind of like, we hear the idea of the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you kind of see that it's actually a train. And I've seen that train coming a while with work. And I'm in HR, and my job is recruitment. And recruitment has been extremely hard. The industry of caretaking has been hit extremely hard. And at least in Idaho, I don't know other places, but people don't want caretaking jobs anymore. They don't want to, I don't know, I can't judge that, but I just know that people are not coming to work. And so the administrator decided to create a committee to help recruitment and retention. And so the committee came up with some great ideas for recruitment and retention. And they would bring these ideas to me to help them put them in place as HR. And the only thing I could hear as they were coming to me with this stuff was, why couldn't you pull this off? Why couldn't you do these things that we're now suggesting? And so instead of seeing them as being helpful, I saw it all as criticism of what I had been doing up to that point. And the more they came to me with some of these ideas, the more resistant I became to them. And it took a while, and it took me being willing to, and I think I've just actually started really being able to get below this and to really see it. But one of the things that they wanted to increase was recognition, that everybody needs to be recognized in the organization. And they have a million ways to do that. And I got so frustrated with some of these ideas that I had to come, and once again, I had to take a look for myself and see what was getting triggered. And it was this idea of need for recognition. And I always thought that I was pretty self-motivated. And I always thought that I was pretty capable of operating and doing my job without having other people to give me constant feedback to validate that. And what I discovered was that within all of this, underneath it was this need for Kelly to be validated, for Kelly to be praised, for Kelly to be thanked. And the worst part of that, obviously, is that belief that unless that is happening, then my value there is nothing. Then I am of no value there. If they're not telling me this stuff, if they're not saying these things to me, and if I am not getting that kind of feedback. And I did discover that that is, for me, that is just part of all this, this idea of Kelly, right? This thing that we are attempting to let go of here. And the personality. When I was doing all this writing, one of the things that really struck me for the first time was I was looking at personalities. I'm kind of slow on the uptake. I, for the first time, recognized that person is the biggest part of that term, personality. That is just all about. It's all about personhood. It's all about being an individual and having a separate point of view and having ideas and opinions that we try and elevate above other people's point of view and decide that some of them are right and some of them are wrong, and there are good guys and there are bad guys, and we can do that in the aspect of just even our own families. We do that, and then obviously we do that in organizations. We do that. I do that at work. We do that in our friend groups. We do that, you know, in every aspect of our lives. And the reality is we think some of these ideas and some of these perspectives and some of these points of view are the ultimate truth, and we fail to see that they're just us looking through our own little knothole and thinking that it is the whole picture. And, you know, I did have this little flash of a vision the other day that we all are kind of, as we're in this process of moving towards this awakening by letting go of this individual self. When we're using our day in service of the right mind, we are all just little reporters from our point of view. And it's kind of like, this is Kelly reporting from, you know, Idaho, or Kelly reporting from Tomorrow's Hope, which is, you know, the name of my company, or, you know, whatever it is. I'm just sharing this little view from that perspective. And once again, if that is in service of the Holy Spirit or the right mind, then it can contain symbols of love, and it can contain symbols of steps to take and practices and ways of being that can lead myself to awakening and maybe share ways of awakening, as everybody does here. In service to the ego, which, like I said, I wax and wane through that process. In service to the ego, I am reporting as this entity, Kelly, and how she thinks things should be, and what she thinks is right and good and true, and why everybody else should just kind of get on board and see things her way. So I prefer to be in service to the Holy Spirit and report to you from that aspect. And remember, as in this reading, that everything has been put together for me to do this. That job, those people. It was interesting because I was really resistant to all this recognition that they wanted to do, because it was going to cost money, sending out cards and all these gifts for staff that have been there 1, 2, 3 years. And it's all, you know, part of retention and all that stuff. And birthday cards and all that jazz. And I wasn't very supportive, I guess is what I'll say. And then yesterday was my birthday, and I got a birthday card from work with some cash in it. And I thought, oh my God, this is kind of fun. So it was a very good lesson for me that, you know, and then I felt myself softening, and I felt myself humbled, and I felt myself being open more to these ladies that are well-intentioned. And I could see once again that if I, you know, and all of that was, you know, really came as a result, I think, of me being willing to look and see it differently. And which is what we do here. So I got my birthday card and I went, yeah, it's kind of nice. I can understand. You know, I'm old school work ethic, right? You just go to work, you put your head down, you work, and you don't need all the bells and whistles, and you don't need to be thanked for doing a good job. And, you know, it just a whole bunch of old ideas that, that this new generation is forcing me to let go of, because they do things differently and they want things differently. And that's my workforce. So I have to learn to work with them. So it's been a humbling week, and I'm glad that I could report it to you, and hopefully in service of the Holy Spirit, and sharing what, you know, what it's like from my little knothole. And once again, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all you lovely mothers, and then just happy day to all of you who are not, which I am not, but I do have fur babies that have given me lots of love today. So that's good. And we are going to have another song right now, and a reminder that this is the time where you can donate, and there should be a link maybe put into the chat box if you want to donate at this time. And I will play another song for us. All righty. There we go. We have a little bit of time if anybody would like to share.
This is Regina. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Regina.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say that, you know, the reading is from Way of Mastery was something I've read, but I haven't read it in, you know, I've read it more than once, but I haven't read it in probably at least 4 years now. It was so wonderful to hear it again. It's such a brilliant reading. You know, I think that sometimes, you know, based on what we hear in different teachings, sometimes we forget that, you know, every time that we are upset to any degree, it is because in that moment we're believing our thoughts, we're believing our ego. You know, there's this wonderful teaching that, you know, that we can just step back into awareness and watch it. And I think a lot of people hear that step back into awareness and watch it thing, but at the same time, there's this denial going on. They're not actually just watching it, they're believing it. And so it's finding that balance, which I think your teaching brought in today, finding that balance that, you know, yes, I am awareness, but if I'm really step back into awareness, I'm not caught up in being angry. I'm not caught up in defense. I'm not caught up in wanting things to be different. And if I am caught up in those things, I am not stepped back into awareness, and really being very honest. This is something here that needs to be healed in me, because this is pulling me back in, right? This is a hook. I'm getting pulled out of awareness back into the personality. And I love the way you talked about how, person is such a big part of that word. To me, it was just a very, very honest sharing today. The reading balanced out your story perfectly. And I'm just really thankful that you bring it back to our attention that, there really isn't a reason to be angry. There isn't a reason to be annoyed. There isn't a reason to be defensive. And if we are truly feeling those things, we are not in awareness in that moment. We're in believing. And we need to start, working with that through inquiry, through rest, accept, and trust, through whatever way we're going to work with it. But we need to work with it in order to move ourselves back into awareness where we aren't caught up in these feelings. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention today. I'm done.
Thank you, Regina. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Billy. Can you hear me, Kelly?
Hi, Billy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What a great day. Great day. I'm on the Cape. I'm opening it up and I'm moving around, but I'm listening to you. And when you were talking about when someone else came up with the idea that you thought you should have come up with, and I'm going, wow, have I done that before? And I've gotten the boot out and I've started pulling on the string and it kept hitting me in the rear end. And how come I couldn't do that? And then I just, I said, all right, let me get out of the object and put my eyes in front of the perception and look at it. And as you were talking about, I'm saying, I do that, but there's only one. So that was me that was given the suggestion. And well, how far am I from getting to accepting that and being and living that and including that in my world instead of getting real close to the, coming back into that me, because I was a certified and I still dabble with victimhood, they don't get me and nobody gets me and poor me and all that. And it was just, boy, you put on a different, when I was hearing it from you, I got it. Okay. That was me given the suggestion. This is still my dream. Okay. And I have to remember it's my dream. Okay. And if I can get beyond that eye to the next eye, to the next eye, it's my dream. And you did it for me today, Kelly. So thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. Appreciate you all. Want to thank Steph again very much for reading for me and for y'all being here. And we have come to the end of our time together.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.